Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the morning crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
And Sam in Waukegan is feeling like all of us this morning at the end of the Bears game. He needs this. We all need this. Waukegan needs this.
It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet is to stay away, mother. It's just one of those days. It's all about the he says, she says bullshit. I think you better quit, let it slip, or you'll be leaving with a fat lip.
Let's go. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101 604. It is 44 degrees. Going to be quite a bit warm. Tomorrow is going to be 80. So that's something to look forward to get that out there after everybody dragging ass, getting out of bed after yesterday's historic Bears loss. And we'll get to that in a second. We're going to get to it all morning. People are already blaming me for this loss.
Well, rightfully so. That's what I said last night.
Yeah.
Damn it, Brian!
Why are you blaming me?
Because you told me they would be really good. And so every time a game starts, well, they're obviously going to win. Brian said so.
Oh, first off, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
And we'll break down this game in sports in about an hour, and we have something to do with it all day that might help us all cope. We need a therapist, by the way. I need a therapist. I can't do this anymore. And I'm going to talk about that. I can't do this anymore. And I mean that completely with Chicago sports.
Oh my God, do we call hotline? I'm concerned.
You should. Thank you. Because thank you for seeing me and hearing me on this. Thank you for being present with my words.
You look broken.
I can't do this anymore. I can't. What I can do and what we can do is continue to deliver unique experiences to you, record-breaking things as we've done all year. We're getting to the end of the year, and we're still doing it.
Have we broken records this year?
Yeah, we've broken records.
What record?
I don't want to get into it.
It was like a secret record, I guess.
It's too much right now. Too much too soon.
We have broken the record with A-plus level elite experiences for our listeners, better than any other radio station in the history of Chicago. You can go back, and we'll go back and break that down at the end of the year completely, and there's no one that comes close. No one comes close to delivering the goods to you.
Suck on that.
That's right. Thank you. But tomorrow night, Jack White is playing the Metro. A surprise dropped yesterday, and the tickets go on sale today at 1 o'clock. But we will have special tickets for this show with a chance at unique, unless Kay steals it when it goes to our boss's office, a limited edition vinyl, Jack White vinyl, and merch, all to give it away tomorrow during the show. And I tell you this now at 6:06 on a Monday, because it's for Tuesday, is that you have to be here every half hour. We're going to play a tiny, tiny clip of a Jack White song, something he's played on. Every half hour, a different one. And at the end of the show, we'll ask you to call up, and if you can name all of them in order, you get the tickets to tomorrow night's show, the merch, the vinyl, everything. No one gives you this.
It's like a quiz, you see.
Yeah.
Welcome to school.
You have to listen a lot. This
is like the real school of rock, if you think about it.
I agree. This is it.
When you think about it, it's that.
When you sit down.
When you really ponder it.
Put that thing in Canva.
Yeah, there you go. So that's going to be tomorrow every half hour, starting right around this time of the show at 6 a.m. We'll give you a small audio piece of a Jack White song, and then you just have to collect them. End of the show, right when we do the end, and the 9 o'clock half hour there, the second half of the hour, we'll ask you to call up and give us all in order, and then you get to go tomorrow night to the Metro. The Metro. Jack White played.
I can't believe it's tomorrow night already. Good Lord.
Yeah, he dropped it, and boom, it's happening tomorrow.
Oh, my gosh.
And he played, of course, 2022, Q101's Twisted Christmas. That show not only sold out, it sold out a lot.
I was at that show talking with somebody who's also been to a lot of concerts at the Aragon, and we were talking about how we've never seen so many people at the Aragon before.
I think that there were rules that were broken, low capacity limit rules.
I got to say, Certainly, they oversold is a word people will use.
Either that or Jack White brought an extra 500 people.
Yeah.
One of the two.
He played the Metro back in 2018, too, so it's been 6 years on that. That was a Lala after show, special show. And this is very special. So tomorrow morning, make sure you're here for that. Now, back to the Bears before we move forward. And in a way to help cope, I did talk to a therapist that I know, and they said this might be some way you can get through it. And maybe all of us together can get through this tragic Bears Hail Mary loss. Is I have the audio of the Hail Mary and the play sad music. Sad music has actually been proven to make you feel better. And when you wallow in, that sadness that you have for whatever reason, playing that music can make you feel better. And I'm trying to think of the saddest music ever. I've been here for hours last night driving in. I was thinking about it. And have you ever seen the movie Platoon? Case, I know you haven't seen Platoon.
Correct.
Kenzie, have you seen the movie Platoon?
I haven't.
It's a classic Vietnam War movie from the 80s.
Yeah, that's usually not my jam.
You like,
Like, you know what we should do this weekend?
Yeah, you're a Jumanji girl.
Yes. Through and through.
And there's some music in that movie that's so sad. And I think when I play the Hail Mary clip over this music,
Johnny Depp's in it, huh?
he is.
No, maybe I'll watch it.
Very small role. He was just starting. Main characters are William Dafoe, Tom Berenger, and Charlie Sheen, who kills it in that movie. He's amazing.
Forrest Whitaker's in it.
A lot of cameos in that.
Oh, you're never going to believe this. Do you know who else is in this movie?
Well, I know it's a varied cast, and I've seen the movie 100 times.
Somebody from Entourage is in it.
Oh, I do know this. Johnny Drama.
Yes.
Yes.
He's Bunny. Why does he never have a normal name in anything?
But he does amazing in this movie, too. It's very much like a movie you'd look back on. And like he would have played in Entourage. He would have been in Platoon. And it's one of the movies they just didn't make it
my
off of.
problem is I can't watch this movie because every time I see these guys' faces, like Elias, I'm looking at him and I'm like, okay, so the Green Goblin's in it. Like, all these people are way too associated with their characters now.
This is where they got there. This is how he got the Green. This is how William Dafoe got the Green Goblin. Okay, so this is the music from Platoon. I'm going to put it over the clip of the Hail Mary, and it's going to help us all cope together here. It's very sad, sad music, Kenzie.
Comes down to one last play, and it's going to be getting longer by the second. You're all the way back at the 30-yard line. Now you can step into it. Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball is caught! Caught! It's a miracle! It's Noah Brown! Oh, my goodness! This town is going crazy! It's a madhouse in Landover, Maryland! He did it! Oh, this one will be paid back over and over again for decades.
I'm hoping this helps us cope.
I know. Well, we had a conversation about what would be the saddest song because I had a different pick.
Yeah. We'll get to more of these in sports. We're up against it right now.
Okay.
But we're going to do it all show long. If you have the saddest song you want to hear this clip played over, please hit us up. And Kenzie has a choice that we're going to hold off. And we'll deliver that a little bit later on in the show.
Because it may win. It may be sadder.
You can check in with us at 312-591-8300. Let's pour one out for the Bears.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for a fact that makes your brain go. And since we are in Halloween week, we're finally here. After months and months, it feels like. I mean, the Halloween decorations went up in April. So here we are. We're finally here. Halloween is here.
Are you talking about me again?
Yeah, you and some others. And as you see, like they've now skipped like Thanksgiving and Christmas stuff is up in the stores. Like Thanksgiving doesn't even matter now.
I have to be honest, I don't do Thanksgiving decorations. And it's because I love Halloween a lot, so I don't want to buy a bunch of the generic fall stuff that goes for both because I'm not into it. And I'm not decorating for a third holiday. I don't have time to take the Halloween stuff down, put out Thanksgiving stuff, take that down, and then put out Christmas.
Also not so sure what Thanksgiving decorations are. Turkeys?
Like turkeys and like pumpkins without like not jack-o'-lanterns, like normal pumpkins.
Yeah, in case you know what the color of Thanksgiving is.
Yeah.
It's brown.
Yeah, it's brown as Thanksgiving, and Jeeps are Everclear and whatever else was discussed. Jeeps are Sugar Ray, not Everclear. This was one of the examples that was given of that.
Everclear, like the car wash place?
No, like the band.
Oh, I have a membership of that. Maybe it's Everclean.
What? Wait, why were Jeeps Sugar Ray?
I think Dakota, our crew member, called in and said that Jeeps are Sugar Ray.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm not crazy.
No, you're not.
I'm only repeating what crazy people said.
Right. No, you're fine. You're all good. All right, here we go. With the fact that makes your brain go. America's biggest fears. There was a massive survey asking people what their biggest fears are. Halloween week here. Now, what do you think Illinois is? And I'll tell you this. So here's the only hint I'll give you. The bordering states of Indiana, Wisconsin, and Missouri have the same fear as people in Illinois, the number one fear that they have.
Okay.
That's all the hint I'm going to give you is those bordering states. Not Iowa, which is another bordering state, but they have a different fear.
I'm going to say tornadoes.
Tornadoes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. A lot of them around here. Last year was pretty brutal.
That's the thing.
First times they were coming through like downtown as well, toward Wrigley Field.
That's the thing. It's valid.
Very valid. Case, what do you think?
I don't know, like debt? Something something that comes for us all?
I feel like that's a New York fear.
Yeah.
Why's that?
Everything's more expensive once you get up to the top of the United States.
Oh,
like the
yeah.
little pinpoint, like Maine, New York.
Sure,
Things
yeah.
get really pricey.
Well, by your logic, Kenzie, New York is debt.
Yeah.
New York is dead.
New York is dead.
Okay, so what was yours again, Kenzie?
I said tornadoes.
Tornadoes and debt. The biggest fear of people in Illinois. Think about it, and we'll have it for you in 5 minutes.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
All right, time for a fact that makes your brain go. What is Illinois most afraid of? The biggest fear? And my hint was that Indiana, Wisconsin, and Missouri, bordering states, are all in the same boat with this number one fear in the state. Iowa, not so much. So Kenzie guessed, what'd you guess again, Kenzie?
Tornadoes.
Tornadoes.
You
Biggest
don't listen
fears.
to me.
I do.
Tell me who got drafted in 1957, you jerk, but you can't tell me what I just said.
Boy, the 57 draft just
I
came into my
know.
brain.
Man, I mean, let's carve out an hour and talk about it. I've got so many opinions on it.
Let's forget about playing the Bears audio anymore. Let's talk about that. And Case, what'd you say? You said debt.
I said debt.
Okay, so this was a massive reach as far as asking people what they're afraid of the most. And what Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Missouri said, it was all the same. That nowhere else in the country had this same fear was public speaking.
What?
That's the biggest fear people have in those states, Illinois and the bordering Indiana, Wisconsin, Missouri. Public speaking is the biggest fear.
So you'd rather be face-to-face with a tornado than say something in front of people?
I guess.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what people said the most, which is interesting because I remember being young and having to go give a speech about a forest I went and visited in grade school. I had to give this speech on it. It was like a forest preserve type of thing. And I remember shaking, talking in front of the whole gymnasium of about 17 people, and it was all full there. Big, not everybody showed up for school that day.
Uh-huh.
And I remember shaking, but I got through it. And I look back at that moment, it's a pivotal moment to doing this. Because I think if I couldn't have, but I was shaking like on the podium. You grabbed that school podium, and I don't know why. I was like, 9 years old.
I'll tell you what, though. There is a lot of people who do radio and still have huge social anxiety because you're sitting alone in a room.
Mm-hmm.
You don't realize sometimes the amount of people you're talking to doesn't feel like public speaking like when you stand up in like an auditorium and you're looking at the eyes.
They used to say, picture people in their underwear.
Yeah.
If you're public speaking, and then that calms you.
That's so weird because that doesn't do anything for me. Did it help you?
It's distracting. Because you're like,
you're like mad. Like, put some clothes on. Good Lord. You should be embarrassed.
I'm more like, wow, she's wearing a thong today.
I know. You're doing a little, like the Will Ferrell scene in Old School with the Olive Garden waitress. You're doing a little bit of that. Like, I just wonder what she's wearing. Maybe it's something I don't know about.
And
Maybe
so
it's
he
something
never
new.
got invited back to speak at that school again, as you can imagine.
I start thinking about her panties.
Odds are they're probably just white cotton.
Such a good line.
He was supposed to talk about a forest preserve.
So the number one fears, and by the way, no one else in the country has that fear of public speaking like Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, and Missouri. Number one was death, fear of death, and that seemed to be all over the country in just sporadic places. Also spiders, failure. How about that? A fear of failure. Let's see. Is there only one state, Kentucky, has a fear of failure?
Oh, yeah, if I were in Kentucky, I'd also be afraid of that.
Hell no. They came up with fried chicken. They've beat us all.
Did Kentucky invent fried chicken?
It's Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh! Sorry.
I was going to say, maybe. They for sure invented Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I will say, besides Jewel, the best fried chicken I ever had was in Louisville, a place called The Eagle, if you're ever driving through. Best fried chicken ever. The first time they gave me hot honey to put on it, too.
They should have the most confidence in the world.
Yeah, they don't. Also, heights was a big one. Enclosed spaces. I am claustrophobic. Idaho and Oregon hate enclosed spaces.
It makes sense because they live in wide open spaces.
That was pretty good. Felt like I was right there.
Yeah, thank
you. Great. And then also snakes was a big one in some states. Maine, of all places, not places with a lot of snakes.
Makes sense. They moved away from them.
And then ghosts and spirits. This was all brought up because it's Halloween week, but ghosts and spirits. Again, Montana's the only one I can see that's afraid of ghosts. Montana.
Really?
Yeah.
That's tough to be your number one fear because I feel like it's a little avoidable. You kind of know haunted things. You don't move into like an old Victorian style home, things like that.
Yeah. I think Montana's kind of like, what are you afraid of? Public speaking, wusses, but ghosts are the only thing they're afraid of all that list. They're not afraid of snakes, spiders, heights, enclosed spaces, not stuff that's kind of psychological that maybe you need to work on. You could work on and get over that. In Montana, it's just like ghosts, something they can't control. I see like Montana like real cowboys, real
It's a
men.
very literal state.
Yeah, that's it. So there you go. Illinois' biggest fear, along with Indiana, Wisconsin, and St. Louis, is public speaking. I didn't expect that to be on the Halloween week list.
People talk so much in Chicago, though, that shocks me.
But maybe not in front of other people in the same room.
There's a lot of talking here.
A lot of talking. There you go. There's your spookiness for the week, your fear.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. A reminder, tomorrow at this time, every half hour, we're going to play a clip of a Jack White song, and you have to compile them all every hour, all the way through the show. So we'll start right at 6, and then around 6:30, and 7, around 7:30, and so on. So we'll get to the end of the show. And then at the end of the show, we will ask you to call up and give us all of them in order, what songs they were. And if you get all that, you will be going to see Jack White tomorrow night at the Metro. Are you kidding me? This dropped over the weekend, yesterday actually. So Jack White is playing the Metro for the first time in 6 years, playing Chicago. Obviously, Twisted 2022, he performed at the Aragon. And Jack White at the Metro. Tickets go on sale today at 1, but the free ones tomorrow with us, plus you get exclusive vinyl and merch. So make sure you're here right at 6 o'clock in the morning to start everything off with the first clip of the day. Highlights of the weekend. Check in, 312-591-8300. Michael checked in and said, ahoy, this is Michael from Aurora. Thank you so much for the Wolves Halloween tickets, even though I lost at the trivia.
Halloween.
That's right. Their game on Saturday. He said, my oldest son and I ended up going. We had the best time. It's tough having 3 young kids trying to connect one-on-one, and this game gave us the perfect opportunity. Your kindness and generosity left me speechless.
Aww.
And I got to be the cool parent for the night. Wife hands down is more fun than me. So if Brian ever needs to take a nap after the show, I've got a sleeper truck with his name on it. Remember, he works with semis.
You said your dream was to sleep in a sleeper truck. I remember.
Oh, God, do I want to do that. I got you, man. I'm going to hit you up. Sadly, the Wolves lost 5-1, but it was a fun Halloween game.
Halloween.
So there you go. Any other highlights of the weekend? Kenzie, what do you got?
Well, Dakota checked in with like the biggest turnout ever of Pokemon Go, and she said in a picture, holy crap, a lot of people play that game. I can't even believe it.
For some reason, I thought it had died down, but apparently it's even gotten bigger.
I guess the crew moves in silence, Yeah. They're hunting Pokemon. They can't make a bunch of noise, scare them off.
Remember, as we got into a side topic on Friday of class action lawsuits, there is one with the Pokemon Go people. So you can, if you partake in that, certainly look that up and try to get some money out of that deal.
I mean, it's tough to sue them when you're still playing, though, isn't it?
Well, just like food, let's say, with a lot of the food stuff going on lately, if you eat it and there's a chance, for a recall and I need something, you're still going to go back to eating whatever it is that's being recalled, right?
Wow, you were dancing around that one.
Yeah,
Look at that.
A lot of food stuff going on.
Those feet tap dance. Look at him go. Not going to say a name. Boop, boop.
Chase, what do you got?
Lydia checked in from Lyle and said that she celebrated her son's 4th birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese this weekend. That made me want to go to Chuck E. Cheese, now.
There's one that I go by over off Clybourne, and the people that are going in, I've waited for Megan because she goes in the Old Navy over there to shop.
I know about that Old Navy quite well.
So I sit in the car, and I see people go in and come out. And damn, they are happy when they're leaving.
I've never seen somebody leave Chuck E. Cheese in a bad mood.
It's not true. Somebody's going to drag those kids out of there. It's ugly, man. It's like, it's time to go.
Well, I'll be honest. Sometimes I've seen kids being dragged in because they just don't want to go anywhere. And I've seen the kids like just kind of doing that big happy march on the way out of Chuck E. Cheese.
With all their glorious prizes.
Maybe
1,000 tickets for a Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, and a slap wristband.
Yep.
Maybe we should all go as a group. We took the people to London a few weeks back for that Great Bears game. Remember that? It feels like it was 100 years ago compared to the Bears game yesterday.
So long ago.
Maybe we make an easier trip for everybody and go to Chuck E. Cheese one day.
Maybe a fun thing to do before Twisted Christmas, take one of the bands to Chuck E. Cheese, have a bunch of listeners join us.
Ooh.
That is fun, but it is funny that it's like, so one listener won a trip to London, but you can come with us to Chuck E. Cheese. Sorry you missed out on that.
I don't know. I want to go there with Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
Oh, if you can talk Billy into it, I could see him being up for that.
Hey, he loves it. He loves Bozo the Clown. Chuck E. Cheese is like the cousin of Bozo.
He may only do it if Bozo comes. We have to also hire a Bozo. We're like, we promise we'll hire a clown.
Wait a minute. Is there a 23andMe on Bozo and if Chuck E. Cheese is really his cousin?
Oh, we can get on that. I'm sure Bozo's taking a DNA test.
I could see them all avoiding that heavily in the DNA testing. Bozo and his rat-related friends.
Well, we'll just hold him down then.
What?
We'll make them take the DNA test.
Waterboard?
Yes, we'll waterboard
Chuck E. Cheese? Good Lord.
Can you imagine now? This is where we got to. We're going to waterboard Bozo and Chuck E. Cheese to see if they're related.
Yeah, they're going to like it, too.
That's right. See, no other show's doing that.
I think they're in the right on this one.
All right, here's Go Curtis with your headlines.
This is not headline news. The Menendez brothers could be paroled and out of jail by Thanksgiving. Lyle's already asking if he can shoot his own turkey. A judge rejected Diddy's request for a gag order, and Diddy even offered to supply the gags. A Zamboni driver was arrested for DUI after crashing it at an ice rink. Okay, I'll give you multiple choice where it happened. A, Canada, B, Canada, or C, Canada. And Liam Neeson will retire from action movies next year. The move comes a decade after he retired from good movies. This is not headline news.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.